Time for headlines, folks. A new development in the case of the 6 officers accused of killing Freddie Gray in Baltimore. According to statements obtained by the Baltimore Sun, one of the officers, William Porter, claims to have asked Gray if he needed medical attention, saying, quote, "Do you need to go to the hospital?" Porter then explained to another officer that city booking would not process Gray because he was in medical distress. Neither officer was sure if Gray was truly in need of medical attention or if he was just, quote, faking it to avoid being taken to jail. The driver of the van, Officer Cesar Goodson Jr., answered another call with Gray still in the back of the van, but not secured with a seatbelt. Goodson was the only officer charged with second-degree murder. The 25-year-old Gray suffered a severe spinal cord injury in police custody in April. He slipped into a coma and died a week later. The strip of road that was the scene of the traffic stop that ultimately led to Sandra Bland's arrest and death in July is being renamed after her. The Prairie View, Texas City Council voted in front of a packed room that included Bland's family to rename the road that leads into Prairie View A&M University, Bland's alma mater. And that strip of road will be known as Sandra Bland Parkway, upholding a prior vote.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Abstain.
That motion carries. Parkway has been renamed.
Not everyone at the city council meeting was happy. One council member, as you heard, abstained from voting. The community was divided about the street naming issue, some believing the street name should honor a local resident. In addition to the street name, a local park is going to be named in Bland's honor. In Elberton, Georgia, Reverend Tim Maddox was voted out of the pulpit and served with his walking papers after he crossed Janora Ham Biggs, a member of Union Grove Baptist Church for the past 92 years, off of the rolls. Yes, seriously. She informed Pastor Maddox that his holy sanctified preaching wasn't following the Baptist Church covenant, so he had the 103-year-old Biggs escorted off the church property by police. But enough church members came to her defense and voted the pastor out. The pastor has refused to give up his position and even filed a restraining order against Biggs on Tuesday. A court hearing is scheduled for today. A Virginia high school teacher has been suspended for saying the N-word during a class lesson. In Newport News, Virginia, Lynn Pierce, who is white, was teaching an advanced class about racial prejudice and discussing Native Americans. During the course of the lesson, one student had a hard time understanding what the big deal was about calling the Washington football team by their current name. So Pierce decided to simplify it by using this analogy. What would you think if someone started a team called the Newport News Niggers? A student complained and the teacher was put on administrative leave pending an investigation. In the meantime, a petition titled "Bring Back Miss Pierce" has gained nearly 250 signatures for her, who has been a teacher for 40 years. First Lady Michelle Obama took social media by storm this weekend. It started with this picture on Twitter from the White House dinner for Chinese President Xi Jinping. She dazzled in an off-the-shoulder mermaid gown by Chinese-American designer Vera Wang. Social media allowed us to enjoy the evening along with the 200-plus guests, including ballet dancer Misty Copeland and Empire creator Lee Daniels, to name a few of the folks who were in attendance. Rapper 50 Cent is suing a former consultant in federal bankruptcy court in Connecticut, alleging the man improperly acted as an agent and collected fees in advance for projects without his permission. The rap mogul says he paid Andrew Jameson $270,000 to make deals for his business ventures. When the contract for the partnership expired, 50 Cent's lawyer said Jameson went rogue and improperly negotiated deals on the rapper's behalf, including one for a reality show with E! Entertainment. The rapper, who was born Curtis James Jackson III, filed for bankruptcy protection in July after a New York City jury ordered him to pay $7 million to a woman who said he posted a sex tape online that she made with a boyfriend. Folks, Ta-Nehisi Coates is taking on superheroes. The 39-year-old Coates is a national correspondent for The Atlantic magazine, where he writes about culture, politics, and social issues. He just inked a deal with Marvel Comics to write the first for their Black Panther series. Marvel chose Coates, a longtime fan of comics, because of his strong literary voice. The new year-long series begins in the spring of 2016. Also, folks, model, author, television host, and entrepreneur B. Smith has been battling Alzheimer's Alzheimer's for the last 4 years. Smith and her husband, Dan Gaspy, are working to support family members caring for the nearly 5 million Americans battling the disease. They co-authored the book Before I Forgot and partnered with the Caregiver Action Network for a social media awareness campaign. In return, the campaign will deliver 1,000 thank you meals to caregivers across the country, courtesy of Chef D, a gourmet meal delivery service. You can share a memory or picture of someone who has or had Alzheimer's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Pinterest using the hashtag Take One Moment. For more information about the campaign, visit caregiveraction.org. All right, folks, coming up is the Democratic Party doing enough to engage the hip-hop generation? Same goes for the Republican Party. What role will hip-hop generation voters play in the 2016 election? Hip-hop generation plays a critical role when it comes to politics. That will be no different in 2016. This year at Congressional Black Caucus Conference, I moderated a panel on hip-hop and politics, sponsored by Congressman Andre Carson of Indianapolis. Here is our conversation.
Culture is a weapon, and there was times where we used the culture for our benefit, and there was times where culture was being used to destroy our communities. And it's based on what we do with our culture. Right now it's being commodified and used to sell goods all over the world, as opposed to help us rise out of the conditions that we're in. It was a time when hip hop was used as an opportunity for us to feel good about ourselves, with self-pride, self-respect, self-development. All of those things became important for us. So, we need to grab our music back. We need to control our music and begin to push it, because it's not just music, though. Well, there's a whole bunch of things that are attached to that. There's music, there's art, there's behind the scenes, there's production, there's management, there's dance. All of that stuff is attached to what we're calling hip hop. And there's a lot of people making a whole lot of money off of that genre today, and most of those people are not us. In fact, our people are being beat down in these communities trying to follow some of the messages that in mainstream hip-hop, but can't get the wealth that these people have in their hands. So we should be talking about how do we use the music to get the wealth back in our community and raise our communities up out of devastation and unemployment into self-production, self-development, and the kind of wealth that they need to move forward into the next century.
What hip-hop was on its inception was political. I mean, it was telling the story, righteous teachers, and up to Dead Prez, to Public Enemy, to Rakim. They were being political. They were the CNN for the streets. And so they were telling the story. So when the Bob Moses causeway cuts through the Bronx, they were telling the story being cut off, the redlining, and they were explaining that. And so that was being political. But then there's a transition from being political to doing politics. And I think that the hip-hop politics is what has emerged. So really, we mentioned Queen Latifah and Russell Simmons were the first. Around 2001, Queen Latifah comes up with Rap the Vote. Right. And then she begins to lead in that campaign. And actually, she's connecting it to clothes and to movement. Then Russell gets involved, and because primarily around the Rockefeller drug laws. And so when that emerges, hip-hop is now going from being political to then with politics and also shaping policy. And so there's a transition up until now, Black Lives Matter. So what this young person is talking about is that there is a disconnect from the suites to the streets. And so he's saying, or she is saying, that when they talk about Black Lives Matter or hip-hop politics or act on climate or whatever we're dealing with, we're dealing with now the political structure does not match the hip-hop structure that they are seeing. They are not comfortable sometimes within the CBC hallways. They're not comfortable within a political system that does not talk to them only when it's election time. They're not comfortable with them when they come out and say, listen, we want change in our communities, and we know that we have to move from just demonstration, because we know that demonstration without legislation leads to frustration. So we know that we need to make that transition, but this system of what we're dealing with that's been around for 40 years, the Congressional Black Caucus or whatever system, is not working currently.
The Black church doesn't know how to embrace the Justice League or Black Lives Matter because the church only knows how to lead a march. They don't know how to be in one. And so we have to get to a place of how do you become a part of leadership if you're not on the front line as the spokesperson. What Black Lives Matters has done to decentralize or neutralize the Black church is that we're not having officers or titles. We're just having one destiny and one focus. So that's hard for black preachers who want to have the microphone. And so we have to have an adjustment that nobody is speaking for the group is speaking with one voice. This is so important that you'll notice that we're in this room and the faith community is down and around the corner. Two different areas meeting about the same agenda but not coming together. And if you did a demographic study of those, it is the Being Gay Convention is around the corner, and those who are on Mountain Dew are in this room. And so I think that both of those are going to have to come together for us to have an effective leadership so that we don't perpetually have this divide. And what I try to underscore, Roland, to the faith organization is just because millennials don't go to church, it doesn't mean they don't believe in God. And the church keeps saying at the end of service, the doors of the church are open, waiting for millennials to come in. But when we declare the doors of the church are open, the millennials are waiting for us to come out. And so the effectiveness of the church is not how well you sing or how you can preach, but how effectively you serve. And so the responsibility of the church in this hour is asking, how can we serve? How can we be a part? And how it is that we can move forward.
If there wasn't something about the power of the vote, they wouldn't be trying to take our right to vote away from us, right? So the criticism is that ain't the way to do it. It ain't ever worked before. Why is it gonna work right now? And ain't nobody care about black people and people of color. And it's like this perpetual like complaining about things. And I think what our opposition has that we don't have and we need to be straight about, I'm not only talking about black people, I'm talking about people of color, Muslims, anyone who can be considered a marginalized or oppressed community in this country. What we don't have is persistency and consistency. We think it takes one election to bring magic to the White House, or 2 elections. It might take 30 elections. The problem is we're not consistent. If we ain't impressed in 4 years, then we're gonna sit home the next 4 years. And with us in the community, we have a responsibility for the next generation that is after us. And that's what we believe in the Justice League. So we don't need our elders out there going out to tell 18-year-olds to register to vote. 25-year-olds need to be telling the 18-year-olds to go out and register to vote.
I think that we've got to have a clear-cut agenda, and if we come to Washington, D.C., and y'all flew here on Southwest Airlines and checked in the embassy suites and got new clothes, and we don't leave out of here with what we're going to demand from these presidential candidates, then this is just Freaknik with clothes on. We got to make sure that we've got something really significant and substantive that we're able to move forward for.
We can no longer allow politicians to come to our churches, our mosques, our synagogues, our community centers, and we're happy to take a picture with them, and once they get into office, they don't deliver on their promises.
But
they call us, they keep a distance from us when it's politically expedient, but in the cover of darkness, they want our support. We can no longer be a political booty call, Roland. So in order for that, I think we have to leverage our voting bloc to make sure they're held accountable, and we're keeping the republic.
Well, let's talk about with our panel, Pear Shanara, Lauren Victoria Burke, and joining us, Dr. Cleo Monago. What are y'all thoughts?
Go ahead.
Clothes on and booty call.
Yeah, no. I actually think that every year at CBC Week, there's some excellent freaking panels. I mean, Maxine Waters every year does something really great on financial stuff. But frankly, I think we spend a little bit too much time in the black community talking around things and not directly at some of the reasons why black advocacy currently doesn't work. I thought Andre Carson actually was getting to it at the end there, and Linda Sarsour when she said about votes, it all comes back to votes and money. At some point, it's going to come back to votes and money.
I mean, that was a significant part of really what our conversation was about, and that was, but it also was trying to get people to understand that you have to connect the dots when you talk about voting.
Right, but we always talk about that.
No, Lauren, the difference also here was what we did was we didn't just talk about it, we also were giving people actionable items, because part of the issue I've always had is that when you've had these panels,
right.
what do I have to walk away with?
Right, exactly.
What can I do? And that was a constant deal. This is what you can do leaving here.
I think we have to challenge the 501(c) model, frankly, too, which is the church. I mean, when our major institutions can't get involved in politics, and I think Black Lives Matter basically proves that you can't influence politics without that.
No, our institutions can get involved in politics. The law says you can't endorse a candidate, but you can be involved in issues. You can push those things. It doesn't say.
But they got to get results at some point.
No, but the problem is you got to
get results.
No, the problem is too many folks with 501(c)(3) are scared to actually get involved. Oh my God, I might lose it. That ain't got nothing to do with the 501(c)(3). Paris.
Well, you've seen this.
Cleo.
You've seen the Obama administration target people who spoke out that they didn't like.
Right.
And so they should be should be fearful because of that. But the other point is,
same thing happened in President George W. Bush, where you had progressive voices who felt
but when
the IRS
Jesse
was
Jackson
used.
Jr., you know, they don't like Jesse Jackson Sr., so they didn't invite him to the White House. You know,
is that the Congressional Black Caucus is bougie, and this freaknik with the clothes-on perspective, I think, is something that people think. I think the Congressional Black Caucus should consider doing things outside of the convention center and in the community during that period, so the community at large can see that these things. Because you've
been to CBC Week, right? I mean, I think it runs the gamut from
in terms of what's
bourgeois
actually,
to something like Hip Hop
really,
Caucus.
in terms of what's really going on, that's true. I'm talking about perception.
You can slap.
That's your perception, but you got to come and look. You got to come and see.
You can slap a bougie label on anything.
Right? There we do. Right. I agree with that. I mean, I think.
But to be effective, I learned this in community outreach. You have to be responsive to the community perception so it can change.
Well, but the thing is free. Anybody can walk into the convention center and be at the CBC.
People assume it's not free.
Well, some folks just need to learn how damn it you
Exactly.
Some folks, I mean, ain't know what people got to Google. But damn it, if they can't Google it, that really ain't my doggone fault. I mean, you know, come on.
We have to be responsive to community perception.
But the community also needs to be responsive to damn it Google. All right, I gotta go. Afraid of coming home for Thanksgiving break with extra pounds. Today's Fit Live Win will break down 3 steps to avoiding the freshman 15 with celebrity fitness trainer Deanna Jefferson. Also, Layla Hathaway talks about her father's songs and what she plays the most. It is 21 before top of the hour. News 1 now on TV 1. All right, folks, freshman year of college is an exciting time. New environment, new sense of freedom, new friends, but for many students, it also means new weight. Unlimited access to food, no parental guidance can quickly lead to the freshman 15. Celebrity fitness trainer Deanna Jefferson is here to talk about tips on how to avoid or lose the dreaded freshman 15. What's happening?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. So look, college, freshman year, all of a sudden is pizza all day.
You know it.
Drink what you want, do what you want. And so what are your ideas not to gain that 15?
Yeah, so I have an acronym, EMS. This is how we're not going to gain that freshman 15. So the E stands for eating. So you want to eat a more balanced diet. You want to drink less alcohol.
But the point of going to college is not to have to eat the balanced meal.
No, you want to eat the balanced meal. You don't want to gain that freshman 15. There's a lot of risk associated with that. So here I have 2 great healthy balanced plates made by celebrity chef JR. So here's a sample breakfast plate that we have. So it's half a plate of fruits and vegetables. So we have spinach and strawberries here, a 1/4 plate of your nice healthy lean protein, so your boiled eggs, and then a 1/4 plate of your nice whole grain toast. Doesn't this look awesome?
Okay, I don't see no pancakes.
No,
I don't see waffles. Ain't no bacon on that plate.
This is so tasty, you'd be so surprised.
Okay, all right. Okay, Dan, all right.
And then we have our sample lunch or dinner over here. So we have a half a plate of our healthy asparagus and roasted peppers and garlic and
on asparagus right there. You lost me right there.
You can switch out the asparagus for whatever vegetable that you prefer. We have our 1/4 plate of our whole wheat pasta here, and then we have a 1/4 plate of our nice healthy protein, which is going to be our salmon, and then we also have some of avocado and tomatoes for our nice.
But the question is, will you be able to get this on the college campus in the cafeteria?
You know what? Sometimes it's going to take a little bit of kind of picking and choosing from different places. So maybe going to the salad bar and getting your vegetables, and then going up to the hot plate to pick out your whether you want a chicken breast or a piece of salmon or whatever it may be.
All right then. So exercise, because look, that's really not, that's the last thing you're thinking about, because you're thinking about partying, going to class, staying up late.
Definitely. So the M stands for moving more. So you want to make sure that you're walking to class or riding your bike to class and not necessarily riding on those cool hoverboards to class. And then also exercising. So getting and using your campus fitness facilities at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes each day.
Okay. And what's your other letter?
And then the S is just simply sleeping more. So college students should be getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Girl, 7 to 8 hours.
7 to 8 hours. That's going to be the best for the brain.
Anybody here get 7 to 8 hours?
No. Like 4 to 5.
No.
Well, you know what? You can incorporate naps. College students have gaps in between classes, and if they need to incorporate naps to get up to that 7 or 8 hours, that's fine as well.
So your target is college students.
Yes.
What's the C stand for? Crazy? Oh, there was no C. I'm sorry.
He needs more sleep. You need more sleep, right?
Yeah, he needs more sleep. He needs more sleep. But again, okay, so if you're trying to eat healthy, again, you're not always in that situation because it's not like you have salmon money. So how do you balance that in terms of not having those kind of resources? Then the cafeteria is closed.
Yeah, so there's definitely some less expensive options, even if you go out to eat, if you're going to a restaurant, if you're going to what we would consider fast food, but not your typical fast food like a McDonald's or Burger King or anything like that. But you can actually just piece together your meals. Tell them you want a piece of chicken breast without the bun. Tell them you want the vegetables on the side. And just kind of pick and choose to make your meal look similar to the meals that we have here today.
That's very pretty.
It is.
Art class, too.
Well, I can't take the credit. Chef JR is here on set with us today, and he actually plated this up and made this look nice for us this morning.
All right, then, Chef JR, way to go, way to go. Appreciate that. Nice. Where can folks get more tips, more information?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, Instagram, at Deanna Jefferson. My website is deannajeffersonfitness.com.
Okay, all right, then. We'll certainly appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
All right, so it's breakfast time. So what should we go eat? Should we go get that bacon and egg sandwich? So that's protein, right?
No, that's not what we want to get. We want to stay away from the carbohydrate heavy.
I thought that was proteins. Egg protein?
Eggs is protein, yes. Eggs is the protein. And the meat is going to be...
Are those not eggs?
But these are, but what you're thinking about is the processed egg and the processed meat. We don't want that.
No, I'm thinking about an egg being hard scrambled.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then, yeah, you're good with that.
How about a pancake?
So
Like, what is wrong with pancake?
a real egg, hard scrambled bacon and toast, that's good.
I would stay away from the bacon. The bacon is going to give you a lot more fat, but maybe a turkey bacon.
Turkey bacon is
that what
fake.
you're thinking about?
There ain't no such thing as turkey bacon.
I don't know.
Is turkey bacon not processed?
It's better than your pork bacon. Let's just say that.
Yeah, is turkey bacon processed?
It's better than your pork bacon.
But it ain't even real.
Isn't the real better?
She got me standing up. All right.
No, this is whole wheat bread.
Oh.
Yeah, this is whole wheat bread. So this is.
So
what
you
you're
should
gonna
do
get
whole
very
wheat or
good
multigrain?
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat.
Nah, shit.
Depends. So it's
Come on, you got to work
based
with a
on
brother.
the amount of fiber that's in there. So some
Okay.
packages will say multigrain, some packages will say whole wheat. Look at the amount of fiber in there.
So
You
what's a
at
good
least-
fiber number?
Good fiber would be over 3 grams.
Okay.
Over 3 grams of fiber per slice.
Per slice. All right, y'all got any more breakfast questions for Deanna?
Yeah, pancakes. What is wrong with pancakes?
Wait, what's wrong with
Is
pancakes?
it processed flour? Is that the problem?
It's the flour that's in it. It's
What if it's whole
refined.
wheat flour?
Whole wheat waffles?
If it's whole wheat flour, that's going to be better. That's going to be a
Okay.
better option.
Okay.
Yes.
So we can have a whole wheat pancake with whole butter and whole syrup.
All right, y'all. Tomorrow, News 1 Now. One of the fresh faces of gospel music, Jonathan McReynolds, will be here. Plus, getting the most out of your college degree, unwealthy you. I got to go. Holla!